Good morning, Chasm listeners. This is Ryan Rothstein, the Farm Bill Biologist with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District, and this is your weekly conservation report. It's been a little warmer than average around here lately, and I know a lot of places up north are getting their ice fishing season kicked off, but we're not quite there yet here, I don't think. So this week I wanted to go over some ice fishing, early ice tips, safety tips, just to make sure everybody gets home safe after they venture out. As much as I love fishing, it's never worth going through the ice over. So here is the top 13 ice safety tips to make sure you have a good outing when you get out. The first and foremost is share your fishing plans with somebody. I know a lot of people don't like to share their hot spots, and for good reason. And it's always a good idea to make sure someone at least knows your general location, what lake you're on, approximately where on the lake, just to make sure that if something happens that they know where you're at. Number two, bring a friend. It's always more fun to share the outdoors with someone anyway. And at least if you have a friend with, that way they can help you carry more stuff, gives you an extra set of hands, and then there's somebody there to help if something were to go wrong. Number three, talk to the locals. Locals and people that live on the lake or near the lake or businesses nearby usually have pretty good intel on what the ice is doing. So this can be a good way to gauge things before you even get out onto the lake. Number four, follow these Dnr Ice Thickness Guidelines. 2 inches or less, stay off. Less than 2 inches of ice is never safe, and things can change very quickly out on the ice, and it can get very dangerous very quick. 4 inches. This is the point where it's generally safe to go out on foot. It's still a good idea to bring a chisel with and keep checking the ice regularly just to make sure you're in the clear. 5 to 6 inches. This is the point where you can usually bring a snowmobile or ATV on the ice, but again, use caution because the ice thickness isn't the same across the entire lake. 8 to 12 inches. This is the point where you can bring a car or a small pickup out onto the ice. 12 to 15 inches. This is the point at which you can drive a medium-sized pickup truck out onto the ice. And I'm usually a big proponent of not being the first one to try something. Usually if you're the first one out onto the ice with an ATV or a truck, usually means you're pushing it a little bit. So I usually don't like to be the first one. I'd rather see a few other people going out there with equipment before I go myself. Number 5, purchase a flotation suit. These have become really streamlined in the last few years, and they can save your life in a pinch for sure. So there's really no good reason not to have one, especially if you're out on early ice or very late ice. And it can keep your head above water if you were to fall through. Number 6, carry a pair of ice picks. These have also come way down in price and are very lightweight and easy to pack. It can help you out if you do fall through to get yourself back up onto ice. Number 7, carry a throw rope. This is something that if somebody were to fall through the ice, you could throw to them so that they could grab on and you could pull them to safety. Number 8, leave the lake before dark. Navigation at night can be pretty dangerous, and unless you have a good navigation device with, it's not too hard to become disoriented and end up somewhere on the lake you didn't want to be. Number 9, install proper ventilation. A lot of ice houses these days are getting pretty extravagant, and a lot of the pre-built ones should have good ventilation, but it never hurts to make sure because carbon monoxide poisoning is not a fun way to go. So make sure that you got oxygen flowage through the ice house. Number 10, bring a portable power bank battery charger. Cold temperatures drain smartphone batteries pretty quickly, and it's always a good idea to have a phone ready and charged on the ice, so in case something happens, you can get a hold of somebody for help. Number 11, respect the ice auger. Ice augers are made to drill holes through solid ice. And obviously these can get pretty dangerous in a hurry if you get clothing wrapped around the shaft. So make sure you treat the ice auger with respect and know how to use it before you try it for the first time. Number 12, stay hydrated. Dehydration can happen pretty quick in cold weather because your body has to work a lot harder to keep warm. So always bring some water with you and make sure you're sipping on it regularly to keep your body hydrated. Number 13, layer up. Making sure you're warm out on the ice can keep a day from turning into a bad one real quick, especially if you're way out on a lake. So make sure you're choosing the right kind of clothing to layer up and to keep yourself comfortable and warm on the ice, especially if you're going to be out there for a long time. Well, that's all I've got for you this week. If you need to get a hold of us for anything conservation related, you can get a hold of us at 320-251-7800, extension 3. And again, this was Ryan Rothstein, Farm Bill Biologist for the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District, and this has been your weekly conservation report.